This is the TOMOUNT Inflatable Camping Tent, and I wanted to talk about it because I was done wrestling with pole tents while the kids were asking for snacks and the dog was wandering off. I needed something I could set up fast, solo, and not feel like I was settling. After a few weekend trips and one long wet stretch by a lake, I've got real thoughts. In its category, this sits in that sweet spot where you're not paying luxury brand money, but you're not getting a throwaway tent either. It's for car campers who care more about comfort and time than shaving ounces. I put it squarely in the family camping, glamping curious lane. If you're backpacking or hiking into sites, this isn't for you. If you drive up, unload, and want a livable space in minutes, it makes sense. Setup is why I bought it, and setup is what sold me. I unroll it, peg the corners, hook up the included pump, and it basically lifts itself as the air beams fill. I clock around 5 to 8 minutes from bag to standing, depending on how many guy lines I add. The pressure relief valve is a thoughtful touch. I've hit it with a lot of pumps and it just burps off excess rather than letting me overdo it. Once it's standing, I throw the guy lines out because these air tents really rely on tension to feel planted. After that, it's camp chair time. Space-wise, it feels like a small cabin. The vertical walls matter more than you think. I can stand at full height and actually use the corners without my head rubbing fabric. 2 doors make the flow way better with a group. I run a queen air mattress and 2 kid cots, plus a gear bin and the dog bed, with walking room. The 4 mesh windows do a lot of work on hot days. Cross ventilation is legit, and the double layer design lets me keep privacy while moving air. Let me talk about the fabric in real use. It's a 300D Oxford, and it feels tough. There's a little crinkle to it, but it doesn't feel flimsy. It sheds rain immediately. We had a night of steady rain and some gusts that pushed branches around. I stayed dry. What you need to know, and what caught me off guard the first night, is condensation. With this kind of material, if you zip everything tight on a cool night, you will wake up with moisture on the walls and at the base of the beams and think it's a leak. It wasn't. I started leaving the roof vents open and cracking windows on the side away from the wind, and it was a different story. Manage airflow and it's fine. Don't, and you'll blame the tent. Wind performance surprised me. Air beams flex and then spring back, so I never heard that ominous cracking sound I used to get from fiberglass poles. The walls will bow in heavy gusts, and that's normal. It matters how you stake it. The included stakes are okay, but I swapped a few for heavier ones on open sites, and the tent felt noticeably calmer. Once I tightened the guy lines right, it didn't creep across the ground or sag overnight. Durability has been solid so far. The PVC air columns feel stout, the zippers pull smooth and don't snag constantly, and the floor has held up to cots, a camp table, and a dog with enthusiastic claws. No punctures yet. I did top off the beams once on a cold morning after a hot day, which is just physics. The included repair kit lives in the bag, but I haven't needed it. Day-to-day living in it is just easy. 2 doors mean nobody has to climb over anyone for midnight bathroom runs. The light fabric color keeps it brighter inside, so it doesn't feel cave-like on overcast days. The height makes getting dressed like being in a room, not doing the awkward hunch dance. I strung a small light across the roof, and it hung without pulling weirdly. On a sunny afternoon, it warms up fast if everything's closed, so I lean on those windows. On a chilly evening, the thicker fabric and the sealed structure hold warmth long enough to get cozy without feeling stuffy, as long as I leave those tub vents open a crack. Pack up is the trade-off. Deflation is instant and satisfying. Getting every last bit of air out so it fits back in the stock bag is where the patience comes in. I roll from the valve side, kneel, press, roll again, and it's still a tight squeeze. I threw a couple of compression straps around the bundle the last time and it helped. If it's wet, plan to dry it at home. I set it up in the yard or drape it over a line because leaving damp fabric in the bag is asking for funk. It's also heavy. I can carry it, but if parking is far from the site, a wagon saves your back. Compared to what I used before, a big cabin tent with traditional poles, the difference is night and day in setup. My old one took 2 people and anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes if the wind was fighting us. With this, I actually arrive later than friends and still end up sitting down first. Stability is different too. Poles feel rigid until they snap. Air feels forgiving and bouncy in a good way. I haven't had a broken pole meltdown with this, and that alone lowers my campsite stress. Against more expensive inflatable tents, I'd say this gets me most of the experience for less. You lose some fancy touches like premium fabric blends that breathe more and sometimes skylights, and you may need to work a little harder on ventilation. But the core promise, fast solo setup, tons of usable space, solid waterproofing, lands. If you want canvas-like breathability and 4-season base camp vibes with a wood stove, you're shopping a different tier and carrying a lot more weight. For regular car camping, I'm happy right here. Value for money feels strong, It's not cheap and it shouldn't be. It's a lot of material, a sturdy floor, and a full air beam frame with a pump and repair kit in the bag. The 12-month warranty is there for peace of mind, though I haven't had to test it. If you camp a few weekends a year or do longer stays and you hate fiddling with poles, it pays off in less stress and more hangout time. If you're expecting a miracle that breaks the rules of physics, you'll be disappointed, because condensation and weight are still real. If you accept those and work with them, it delivers. So would I recommend it? Yeah. If you're a car camper who wants a fast, roomy shelter that you can set up solo, it's worth it. If you have a tiny trunk or you hike to your sites, it's a no. For families, couples who want a cozy base, or solo campers who want space without the hassle, it hits. Drop your questions or your own air tent experiences below. I try to answer with what's actually worked for me, not what the box says. I'll leave the details about the TOMOUNT Inflatable Camping Tents in the comments for you to check out.